I try to be careful, but I'm only one man, and you don't mean... My God, that's horrible. I could have been responsible for this? I mean accidentally responsible. No, hell no. Even if I did screw up, and I didn't, Heather followed my stage directions and fired away from Meryl, angled to one side. If a real round did accidentally get fired out of that thing, it wouldn't have struck Meryl anyway.
You seem sure of that.
Damn sure, for 3 reasons. First, I saw the stunt go down. I saw Heather fire at an angle. Second, I count the bullets I use, always. And with that photo shoot, I clearly remember doing that, both before and after. And finally, I always disassemble, clean, and oil the prop weapons after they've been used.
Warum haben wir Fotos des Opfers bei Ihnen gefunden?
Those? Those are continuity photos. You know, making sure that things are in exactly the same spot next time you see them.
I've heard of that in film work, but never in a live theater performance.
Oh, it's common enough. When we hustle the props around, we've got to track them, scene to scene. Photos make a handy crib sheet.
But your continuity photos seem to track Meryl Regis specifically, scene to scene. Almost all of these continuity photos are of her.
Hey, can I help? She was the star of the show.
Wo ist das Gewehr, das im Requisitenraum fehlt?
A rifle missing. Hey, that's news to me.
Really? But you're so careful, Mr. Harrison. And yes, it's gone from the rack. Do you recall that specific weapon?
If it's the one I'm thinking of, bolt action rifle, 30 caliber. Telescopic sight on that puppy. We did a show about a sniper killer a while back.
Must have been another musical. You're an expert, Mr. Harrison. How tough would it be to make a homemade noise suppressor for a weapon like that?
Well, probably not tough at all. A lot of do-it-yourself stuff floating around the internet. But you'd still have to know what you were doing. It ain't just any chump can build one.
Sounds like work for an expert. Right, Mr. Harrison?
Haben Sie vor kurzem eine Kugel aus einer Patronenattrappe entfernt?
Why the hell would anybody do that?
Why don't we ask the questions, Mr. Harrison? You see, we found tool marks on the bullet fragments that killed Meryl. The same kind of bullets as the dummies in your prop room. It'd be easy to pull the bullet out of a dummy and load it into a gun with a blank behind it. Then you wait in the orchestra pit for the exact moment when Heather shoots. And from the darkness, shoot Meryl yourself. An instant accident.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't just go out and buy a damn bullet. I'd make a homemade one.
You see, there's a paper trail when you buy cartridges, Gus. You had a handy supply in the prop room. A little work, a little knowledge. That was all it took.
Hey, I can see how you put these pieces together, but it ain't the right picture. I didn't do any of this crap. Maybe somebody else did. But it's a big theater, and a lot of people have access.
But you keep the prop room locked, don't you? Safety-conscious guy like you?
Hey, sometimes it stands open when I'm hauling things around. And stuff could get taken from the stage, too. My inventory, as you already seen, can be a little lax sometimes.
Right. Like the missing rifle from the rack? Gus, we already know from trajectory analysis that the shot came from the orchestra pit.
I'm only in that pit during stunts, when performances are underway. And I don't know what happened to that damn rifle. Is this what I get for cooperating? Do I need a lawyer or something?
That's your call, Mr. Harrison. But cooperating with us is a good idea. Maybe you can tell us if you have the tool that's missing from your wall rack.
I can. It's right here. Multi-purpose puppy in my pocket. Take it. Knock yourself out. If I had anything to do with this, I wouldn't be cooperating, right? Right?
Was für Beweise besitzen Sie noch, dass Sie Meryl nicht getötet haben?
Hey, she was alive last time I saw her.
You mean from the pit, during the stunt?
No. I mean, after her death scene, I checked on her. I was down in the pit, yes, where I was supposed to be, and she was laying on the stage, just where she was supposed to be. Meryl whispered, kind of irritated like, that she got a bit of a backblast from the squib. I told her I'd fix that for her, before the performance.
Fortunately for you, Mr. Harrison, the squib we analyzed tends to corroborate your story. Meryl's protective plate was damaged, and you couldn't have known about the backblast unless you had really spoken with Meryl after the squib detonated. But we have to follow every thread.
Look, I know you do. I said I'd cooperate, and what have I been doing? So if you don't mind an outside expert asking, if Meryl was flat on the stage when she was shot, what does that do to your trajectory notions?
It calls for another look, back at the theater.
Tja, das habe ich ja die ganze Zeit schon vermutet. Wer hat Meryl Ihrer Meinung nach getötet?
I don't want to play pin the tail on some other poor sucker, but I gotta admit, showbiz, the theater, it's a dog-eat-dog deal. Lots of big egos, lots of insecurity. Crazy. Take Heather, for instance. Right before rehearsal, she had this knockdown drag-out with Meryl. I'm surprised you ain't figured that out yourselves already. Evidence guys like you?
You're still on our list of suspects, Mr. Harrison.
Yeah, I can live with that. As long as you promise to cross off my name when you realize I had nothing to do with this.
Zeigt das Foto im Requisitenraum Meryls und Heathers Auseinandersetzung?
Listen, I hold on to this job by being discreet. But yeah, that's Heather and Meryl going at it. Kind of a lover's quarrel, if you get my drift. Stirring an angry husband and you've got an instant soap opera. But that's all you get on that from me. Go to the sources if you want more.
Heather and Clayton have probably left the theater by now. We could try to track them down at their homes.
Okay. Erst einmal
Yes?
das Tool. Da. Ah,
Okay, good news, bad news. This could be the mystery tool from the prop room wall, but it wasn't the tool that made the marks on the bullet fragment from the Vic's wound.
That still doesn't clear Gus, though. Guy always seems to know more than he's saying.
okay. Dann einmal das Theater. So.
We need to check out Gus's story. If Meryl was laying on stage, playing dead at the time she was shot, our trajectory theory is out of whack. Let's see where it points to.
So, schauen wir mal nach.
Now we got it. With the sloping angle of the wound, if Meryl was laying on stage when she was shot, it would have come from that box seat. Interesting print. Impressed more towards the instep, suggesting a slight pronation.
So, Moment. Dann
Looks like a shoe print. Loafer, or maybe dress shoes.
auch meins. So, dann haben wir hier einmal die Fußabdrücke und dann
Close, but not quite right.
ups, okay.
Something similar.
Vielleicht.
Faint trace of some powder. Nice catch. You are good.
Danke, auch wenn ich jetzt sagen muss, nicht unbedingt, nee. Weil hier sind so viele. Wenn das Ganze logisch funktionieren würde.
Water's.
Ja, Mittelfinger nicht auf rechter Maustaste bitte benutzen. Haben Sie vielen Dank, Gehirn. Nee, wenn das Ganze so logisch funktionieren würde, dann hätten wir viele Dinge einfach überspringen können, weil wir direkt zu den Dingen nach logischer Reihenfolge hätten vorgehen können. Wie etwa, ich habe ja gesagt, leg doch mal die Puppe hin. Nein, wir legen nicht die Puppe hin. Oder warum wird dieser Graben, der Orchestergraben, nicht direkt untersucht? Nein, wir müssen erst da drauf zeigen mit dem Laserpointer, damit wir ihn durchsuchen dürfen. Lauter solche Sachen.
Shoe print scanned in the computer.
Und das macht halt für mich alles gar keinen Sinn so.
Walk over to the computer and you'll find that shoe print scanned in. Traces of barium, lead, and antimony. Main ingredients of that ever-popular favorite, gunshot residue.
So we've narrowed down our killer's perch. Now if we can only narrow in on the killer. And a reason for the killing.
So, dann...
Well, at first I thought we had residue from drinking water. See, I found traces of fluoride. Only further tests gave up various levels of copper, cadmium, nickel, and antimony. Water picks up traces of these elements passing through various pipes. You may be able to narrow down the neighborhood of origin with a computer search.
Ist es etwa dasselbe Wasser, wie wir schon hatten? So, erstmal das. Nee, da. Das brauche ich vom Balkon.
Interesting. The water that made the stain in the balcony came from a municipal water supply.
Suchergebnis Wasserversorgung, Kupfer 30,2 ppm, Cadmium 2,3 ppm, Nickel 10,8 ppm, Antimon 0001 ppm. Übereinstimmung städtische Wasserversorgung. Dann Schuhabdrücke. Das und das.
Seems the owner of these shoes from the prop room has been lurking around the balcony box seats.
Schuhabdruck Übereinstimmung bestätigt. Größe 10. Sprinter Machlaufschuhe. Informationen an CSI-Datenbank aktualisiert. In der CSI-Datenbank. Sorry. Und das sind... Ergebnis gefunden. Was sind sie denn? Schuhabdruck Übereinstimmung bestätigt. Größe 10. Bruno Pagli Lozano Designerschuhe. Ganz teure Schuhe. Wunderbar. Robbins? Ist
Something you
immer
want?
noch nicht mit der Leiche fertig. Ja, Glückwunsch.
Need something?
Können Sie die Adresse von Heather Colby herausfinden?
An easy one for once. Got it. 1486 Westfield Crescent. Nice neighborhood on the east side.
Für dich ist doch alles eine easy Aufgabe. Können Sie die Adresse von Merrill und Clayton Regis in Erfahrung bringen?
No prob.
Sehe ich auch so.
Here you go. 216 Vermont Drive, residential area, northwest.
Und jetzt möchte ich noch mal kurz mit Gus reden.
Sure, let's get your suspect back in here.
So. Kennen Sie die Laufschuhe aus der Requisite?
Of course I do. I run the prop room. How many times? Some detectives you guys are. I mean, duh.
Well, we can't all be experts like you, Mr. Harrison. By the way, we found your footprints in the balcony. For somebody innocent of this crime, you seem to be everywhere. Everywhere you shouldn't be.
Hey, I'm the damn stage manager. See a broken light bulb in the box seats during rehearsal? So I go up and replace it while Heather's singing her song. So sue me.
Besitzen Sie Bruno Pagli Schuhe?
Do I look like a guy who wears designer gunboats? Comfort first, I always say, particularly when you gotta cover the ground I do around here. Anyway, I know the shoes you're talking about, and I wouldn't stick your feet in those ugly things.
Haben Sie einen Wasserfleck auf dem Balkon bemerkt?
Of course I did. It's my job to notice junk like that. I'll call a plumber in when I'm not spending all my time talking to cops who want to pin a murder on my innocent tail.
So, dann wollen wir mal Mrs. Colby zuerst aufsuchen. Setz dich zu mir, mein Süßer. Nein. Können Sie uns etwas über Ihren Streit mit Meryl vor der Generalprobe erzählen?
Excuse me?
Gus told us about it. I guess when you fight on stage, the stage manager notices.
Oh, that. Though that was no argument. We were just agreeably disagreeing over the motivation of my character. In the scene, maybe I got a wee bit bent out of shape, since this was my role we're talking about, not hers. Creative differences. Sisterly squabble.
Including a sisterly black eye?
Black eye? What are you talking about?
Dürfen wir uns umschauen?
You know, suddenly, I am not liking the tone of this. I don't want you poking around in my things, my business, not unless it's official. Understand?
Understand? Ist ja gut. Gehen wir halt zu dem anderen Typen. Und das ist schon, Siegfried und Roy, die hatten auch eine Meinungsverschiedenheit mit einem weißen Tiger. Danach war das mit der Show nicht mehr. Können wir uns bei Ihnen... Nee, waren Sie vor kurzem auf dem oberen Balkon?
What? Where? Oh, at the Colossus? No, if I'm around for rehearsals, I watch from the dress circle.
Können wir uns bei Ihnen umsehen?
Listen, guys, I understand you have a job to do, but I'm mourning the loss of my wife, and I just don't have any stomach for this right now, okay?
That's all we need right now.
Tja, die letzte Täterin, die wollte auch nicht, weil sie am Trauern war, dass wir in der Wohnung rumschauen, weil sie was zu verbergen hat. Ne? Gut, der ist immer noch nicht fertig mit ihr, deshalb.
What's up?
Ich bräuchte mal Heather Colbys Wohnung.
It's likely evidence that the Colby woman's home might corroborate your stage manager's story, along with his peeping Tom pics. You've got your warrant.
Juhu!